Here we're going to look at 5 golden rules you can use to know when it's time to reef. If you see one or more of these signals, you want to tuck in a reef right away to get the boat under good control. Keep your eyes to windward and look for whitecaps. Constant whitecaps tell you that a strong breeze has filled in and will continue for some time. Reduce sail now to keep the boat balanced. Have gusts become more frequent. When a gust strikes the sail and causes your boat to heel too much, this makes your rudder less effective. This can add to weather helm. Reefing will help get your boat back on her feet. Has your helm become hard to hold? Your wheel or tiller should be able to steer the boat with just 2 degrees of rudder angle. More than this means your boat has become out of balance. Reef the sails to the point that your boat can almost sail herself with just a gentle nudge from you. Is the leeward rail digging into the water? Each time you dig your rail into the water, you lose valuable speed because of friction and drag. Keep the rail clear of the water to reduce heel and weather helm. Has your crew become fatigued or sick? All evolutions aboard a small sailboat take longer to complete in tough weather. A tired, sick crew can become injured or lead to an overboard emergency. One crew member unable to stand watch on a coastal or offshore passage can increase the workload on all hands. Reef or reduce sail and you will be rewarded with a boat that sails flatter, pounds and pitches less, and provides your crew with more comfort. Now you know 5 reefing signals that tell you it's time to reef. If you see one or more of these signals, reduce sail right away to get your boat balanced and provide more comfort for your sailing crew.
Now we're starting to talk about how to slow the boat down. Like I said, you don't have to sail pedal to metal all day long. Sometimes we just want to take a break. I'm just heaving too. Which doesn't mean I'm going to heave so you heave too. No. It means we're going to slow the boat down by backwinding the jib on the other side. Tack the boat, but not move the jib to the other side. And you'll see how that works in just a second. Crew, let's lock off your jib. We're going to heave too. So, again, they get ready. All right, helm to lee. Notice the same thing as in tacking, but this time the jib is on the other side of the boat. And you can see right away how funny it looks. I had my boat, my direction of my boat, up into the wind as much as possible, and the boat slows down. It's the jib that's pushing back on us. And once you get it stalled, it usually stays, but it takes a little bit of finesse to work your way into it. So don't get frustrated. Just work your way into it. The boat is now hove to. We've got our jib nice and tight, blowing our bow downwind. We have our main tight. Remember, the jib and the main, when they're on the same side, work together. But when the jib is on the wrong side, they counteract each other. The main is trying to shove the bow up. The jib is trying to shove the bow down. We also counteract our forward motion by putting the helm to lee. I can actually take a spare piece of line, I can put a clove hitch in it, and I can actually tie my tiller to the leeward side of the boat. So there we are, secured, hove to, nice and clean and solid.
If you're thinking about reefing, it's likely because the wind has kicked up and your boat is going to be heeled over, which means it will be unsafe for you to walk up and stand at the mast to put in the reef. Keep in mind also that if your mainsail is fully powered up, you actually won't be able to dump the power out of that powered up main. So, one of the options you can employ is heaving-to, which is being demonstrated here on this J24. Heaving-to is safe and simple and can be performed by just one sailor. In order to heave-to, steer as if you were going to go through a normal tack. Take your boat through irons and then release your main sheet, but leave your jib sheet sheeted in. Allow it to backwind. Once you're through your tack, let your main sheet luff entirely and shove your tiller to the new leeward side, securing it with a couple of hitches. Now you're heave-to. When it comes to reefing, there are several different configurations on a variety of different sailboats. So before you go to reef your sail, make sure that you and your crew both know where all of your lines and parts are located on your specific boat. You'll want to look for these things in particular. Look for the metal hooks mounted near the gooseneck, where your boom and your mast meet. These will be important. Also look for your luff kringle, which is a heavily reinforced metal ring on the luff of your mainsail about 3 feet up. At the opposite end of your mainsail, the leech, you'll find a similar looking kringle at a similar height. Going through that kringle will be your reef line. This is a line that will be led from the outboard end of the boom up through your leech kringle on the other side of the mainsail, and then through a block and all the way up through the boom to a cleat at the front of the boom or on the mast, or even led back into your cockpit, depending on your configuration. Once you're confident with the location of all of these things, you're ready to reef. To reef, begin by releasing your boom bang and also releasing your main sheet so that the boom is completely free to run as need be. Then, go all the way up to your mast and release your main halyard, bringing down the luff of the sail until that luff kringle meets the metal hook at the tack of the sail, where the boom meets the mast. Secure the kringle around the tack, and then take back in on that halyard until the luff of your sail is once again taut. Take in on the halyard completely and cleat it down. Now you'll need the leech end to match the luff end. So go back up to the mast and pull in on your reefing line until that leech kringle comes all the way down to the boom. You'll see here why it was a good idea to let our boom bang and our main sheet run free, because that boom is going to raise up a little to accommodate the new sail shape with this reduced mainsail. Cleat your reefing line, put a little tension back onto your boom bang, and return to the cockpit with your slightly shortened sail, ready to sail off. If later in the day the breeze goes down again and you feel like you can take the reef out, then you can easily shake out the reef. Begin by releasing your main sheet, making sure your main is ready to run free, and also release your boom bang. Then walk up to the mast and release your reefing line. Take it out of the cleat and let that leech run free, breaking away from the boom and flying its full length once again. Then you want to release the main halyard just enough that you can get that kringle off of the hook. And then once again, bring your main halyard all the way up, back to the top of the mast, and completely cleat it back in. Put a little bit of tension back on that boom bang, and then return to the cockpit and get ready to sail. Now remember that we're heave-to here. So before he can sail away, he's going to need to release that windward, backwinded jib sheet, which in this case is on the port side. So we see him release it there, and then take in on the leeward side or the starboard side and sail off.